All the consensus you can put Jedi as well.
Yeah.
Speaking to the mic, bro. What'd you say? What'd you say, boy?
He's been smoking drugs.
I was going to chat about the Grime beef or move on to.
Oh, the Grime beef.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Ooh.
bit of Darth Vader versus. Nah, I can't think of a decent analogy. Actually, a good analogy for Grime is that.
The old Star Wars version.
Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just pulling
Yeah,
things
yeah,
out
yeah.
of hat. Don't
Yeah.
listen to me.
No, that works.
Yeah? Alright, fuck it. Let's go with that.
Yeah. It's Grime obviously is.
Wait. Before we get into this,
Yeah.
let's break down for the people what's happened.
Yes.
So,
It's yeah.
I think I want to start the story off at
Yeah.
Dot Rotten coming at J1.
Yes.
So we pull it back to the beginning. So Dot Rotten and J1 had a little tiff about a tune and all this, and there was things about invoices getting paid, and Dot Rotten charged some mad price for it, and blah blah blah. And then through that, it's come out that Steel Bangles has actually been using his name to sort of take credit for a lot of other producers' work, which happens a lot. And obviously, the producer who's putting in the work is still getting paid, but the work they're doing. So, for example, Dot Rotten doing Bad, huge tune like Mo Stack. Fucking, I can't. I'm on the spot. I can't think it's on it, but fucking like that's such a big tune, and it's got the Steel Bangles logo. Steel Bangles slapped on it. It's the face of it. You know what I mean? You look at the thumbnail and there's Steel Bangles big
and he'll
logo.
be in the video as well.
He'll be in the video, and then Dot Rotten is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. Dot, you've put yourself in that situation because you've agreed to that.
Yeah.
But then at the same time,
if you have a discrepancy
because
over the money,
yeah,
you can't then go, all right, then well I'll just take the beat you produced.
Yeah.
Tweak it and put my name on it again. Yeah,
slap it all over it, and that's the thing. Because of all this situation now, I think it's kind of like the whole Drake and Meek Mill situation, that Drake now has this stain on his career, which is slowly fading nowadays, about the whole ghostwriting thing and everything, and now Steel Bangles kind of has that. He's now got that tarnish on him.
Every time you hear a tune on the radio now, and you hear Steel Bangles, you'll be googling it to see who actually
was it
produced
Savac?
it.
Dot Rotten? Is there some new guy? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. And Dot basically came at J1 and Steel Bangles. What do you think of the diss tracks?
The first
J1,
diss track.
J1 first. J1. What do you think?
The first one I thought was good. It's probably actually one of the best because I don't know whether because of the quality or whether because it was the first and it was like oh shit. I
got this strain called Industry Plant. That's you, brother. I'm smoking.
That
bar.
Yes. Obviously, for context, most famous J1 bar is "I'll take your missus."
No, brother,
I'm joking.
That was like the worst. That was like the most.
I tried to catch up with you and there's a little.
Yeah, trust me. No, brother.
Joking.
Honestly,
mate. Honestly, it ain't like that, mate. Honestly, I ain't taking your bird. I would fuck her and that. No.
Yeah, but so
I think that hit hard. The first one.
That was solid. And then
I like the little anime things as well. Like he's just sitting there, standing there, bunning the zoot every now and then, an anime like effect and that.
But that diss track was such a hard diss track, but it was funny seeing
it's gonna get overlooked because it was the first.
Well, none of the fucking socials posted it.
Nah.
Fucking no one. A few of the little ones did.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, one of the big ones might have, but overall,
you can see where the allegiances lie.
Link Up
with that one.
No,
they were
like Link
forced
Up.
to.
Joe, I gotta give it to Link Up now because they've started posting about all that stuff a lot more now. They're getting a lot better with that. But GRM, they've got an agenda. J1's, they signed J1.
They sat there going, Dot don't make any money anyway. He ain't gonna make no one any money. Then all of a sudden, Stormzy and Wiley get in and they go, yeah, we better start talking about it. Then. Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I was gonna get into. It's like the sides that GRM are taking. It sort of opened up the conversation of how much power did GRM have
Is it
Whether
too
it's just
much?
post, I'm not going to say it's posty because I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah,
But-
they could have a board. and
Yeah,
all
there's
sorts
probably
now.
a whole. Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like GRM are the kind of they've monopolized the scene now
Yeah,
to the point
they've
where
got such a
Link Up
trusted
and
brand that they can abuse it.
exactly. So Link Up and SBTV, they're barely getting a look in,
Mm.
but they're still putting out work
Yeah,
and
cool.
that.
I mean, they're still
They're
earning money.
They're still
aren't
earning, you know what I mean? But and then obviously mixtape is just drill now.
they? Yeah,
Press play, mixtape's pretty much stolen its soul.
yeah,
So press
Big
plays.
time.
I don't know. I haven't checked press play
No,
in
yeah,
a
I
couple
haven't.
years now, innit?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just GRM have this overbearing hold on the scene
yeah.
that it's kind of
A
like
bit like BBC, they
it's-
can control
yeah, exactly.
what gets spoken about.
And that's all right to a degree. But
Mm.
when I see that you have an agenda, e.g., dot releasing a sick this and then
them trying to
you
pretend it never
pretend
happened, innit? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what gets me the most.
Yeah.
This whole UK,
What
this whole
the-
UK pretending it never happened.
Yeah.
Because these kids on Insta and all these socials and that, they buy into that. They really buy into that. They're more interested in who has the most money, who's
Yeah.
the cool guy,
Yeah.
rather than
responsibility.
who
What's
has
responsibility?
who's got the
Yeah.
fucking bars. Remember back in the day when you'd find like, do you know what I mean? You'd work out how Biggie's Who Shot You might be a diss to Tupac, and you're sitting there and you're listening to every lyric, and you're
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
you're like
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to work out.
Yeah.
Oh, is he saying this? Is he saying that? And it's
Yeah.
all about
Nas,
all about
Ether.
yeah, no, like you're sitting there and you're listening, and you're trying to work out like, oh, where are they? Like,
Yeah,
where
what
are they,
bar
like,
is
what
it that
bar
gets
is it?
him?
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
what
did
does
that
that
bar,
mean?
What does
Yeah,
that
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Did that
yeah.
mean that? Whereas now is it's just like I'm not saying this to get at Stormzy because I think I rate Stormzy in it and I like what he's done. I like the way he handled all the beef and everything. He fucking like, he won it in it. He won it and he did it smart in it.
Mm.
But it kind of shows that the fact that coming through with just one clear cut line has a lot more impact than Wiley going. Do you know what I mean?
What you can relate that to?
What's that?
Politics. Get Brexit
Yeah.
done. One.
Yeah,
A nuanced conversation
Yeah.
people didn't want to have.
yeah.
Get Brexit done.
And it's
Yeah,
our
I'll agree
attention
with that.
spans. It's our attention spans. Our attention spans are just dropping. You got all this music coming out. There's so many artists out there who are just like. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. There's a lot. I've encountered a lot of artists. I'm just like, why are you making music? Like, you don't even seem like you're feeling it. Like,
Mm.
you're just kind of more doing it for a money thing. Whether you've got ties to, like, do you know what I mean? You're one of your mates with OFB or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or you're like,
You got a route in or whatever.
you got a route in, someone's your mate in it, and then
Yeah.
they come in and they just do a little 1-2 tracks and that's it. Like, you're not actually coming with anything of substance.
No.
And it's sad because this is what these kids are now buying into.
Yeah.
They're all buying into who's the most like, who's the flashiest, who's doing the most shows.
It don't
who's
even
doing
matter
this, who's
if
doing
they've
that.
got the most money. It just matters if they flaunt it more.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like that's,
Yeah, 'cause
that's how mad
Wiley
it's
might
got.
Wiley might be richer than Stormzy.
Oh,
We don't know.
He probably is because he probably has artists signed to him and shit, don't he? Where Stormzy's just starting on that journey. Like, don't get me wrong.
Stormzy's
innit? Like,
potential's way higher now.
a $1,000,000%.
Yeah.
'Cause- yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
The book, the Murky book, did quite well. Big up Jude Yorson on that. Good book.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think Wiley might be a little bit just because he's been doing shows. So, I mean, he was spitting on Jungle and shit, Wiley Cat stuff. Do you know what I mean? So he's probably got quite a bit of fucking money. It releases the chart tune every year, and it always gets top 5, whether you like it or not. He's been doing that since we started school.
Bossy went worldwide.
Mate,
That was
everyone
huge.
says that. Everyone I hear say that. They say, when I went abroad, all I heard was Bossy.
Literally.
That's all. Like my mum in Ibiza, it was just Bossy.
Yeah.
Everywhere was like a night where one of the artists was there, and they just play that on repeat in it.
Yeah.
And because I think Idris Elba was DJing when she went Ibiza.
Oh, man.
Yeah, sick though, innit? Because he's a sick DJ as well. Like, he actually is, innit? It's not like one of those things like where a cast member from Towie becomes a DJ, innit? Like, I mean, Idris Elba, I remember back in the day, he actually done a hip-hop documentary and shit, and he was an MC DJ, then he went, obviously, I think he was in The Wire by then, but, do you know what I mean? He's always been a pretty multifaceted guy. But
Was
yeah.
he in The Wire? I haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's
mad.
where he blew up from.
Oh,
I think that's where he
crazy.
blew up from, but he was definitely in it, yeah.
That's been one of them series that I've always been like,
Oh, bro,
I need to
do
see,
it.
and then
You've
you
gotta
never
do
see.
it.
Yeah, no,
It's
I will.
not watching The Wires, like,
It's
not
on
watching,
video now, I
not
have to
watching
watch
the
it.
old Lord of the Mics clashes, innit?
Yeah.
Like, it's the
Well,
context.
I was actually gonna say, because you mentioned about Wiley spitting on Jungle before, and you mentioned how obviously there's like just like live shows and that, and I obviously with all these clubs shutting down in the last couple of years in London and stuff, that whole culture of
that's what killed the grime scene.
Yeah, that whole rave culture is completely fucking it's completely dying now.
Yeah.
And
if there is a night, everyone stood there, either backs up against the walls, taking pictures with their bottles and that, like fucking girls, or they're all just standing there with their own phones out.
All you flexing at the clubs, you look stupid.
Yeah, bro,
you
fuck all that shit, innit? Like, if you've got money, take a bit of responsibility and stop flaunting all of these cheap thrills, innit, and show the house that you've got off, innit? People do the wrong things in it. Like.
Let's not get too into that in it.
Yeah,
but what I was gonna say is obviously you're talking about Lord of the Mics clashes, all of that stuff. I think one thing that needs to come back with now Stormzy and Wiley both, and Dot and even JK and everyone all jumping back on the grime thing. I think now's the time that we set up some real grime clashes. Fuck ads. I like ads in it, but. Fuck all the ads rappers.
They'll look after themselves. They don't need it. The American scene will always back their music up. They don't need the grime scene to back them up.
They've got that popularity to them.
Yeah.
But there's all these other people like Stormzy. Fair enough. Go do your pop tracks. Even Wiley. Go do your pop tracks. I don't really care about that too much.
See, that's the thing. I do personally. I don't class Stormzy as a grime MC, and I do.
A lot of people don't.
I feel he's a rapper in my eyes, and I'm not dissing him for that. But I do feel like I do understand. I understand both their points of view in it, but I do understand where Wiley's coming from, where he's like forcing him to get on grime because he's like at the moment, if someone searches grime, Stormzy comes up, Giggs comes up. I mean, Giggs has been public about it and said, "Stop calling me grime. I rap. This isn't grime. This is UK rap. They're different. You got to give them their different props." Novelist, Mez, that's grime, innit? Like,
this is what I was gonna say. So. I think we should bring them grime clashes back, and then because you look at Mez is probably getting about. He's not getting massive numbers.
No,
he's not. But he's so talented.
Yeah,
the guy's so talented.
Actually, as a master of ceremonies,
like,
innit?
Being a raw grime MC.
Yeah,
he is like he's levels in it, and novelist as well. He's levels as well, and I think it would be so cool if we had all these MCs just jumping back, and that's what this
the
has
culture
been
clash this year. Just do a big grime one. The old heads versus the new heads, innit? Some shit like that.
Yeah,
innit?
something.
Fuck all the,
something.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fuck all the other genres off for a year, innit?
Bring back that old. Do you know what I mean? Because I remember when I first saw grime, and they would be standing next to each other, insulting each other really badly, but they're both looking in the camera or something. We're both looking out to the crowd and just trying to get the biggest reaction.
Yeah.
And I always found it so strange that they can say all this stuff, and yet it's still kind of love. Not love, but
there's a mutual
respect there.
Back in the day,
and a good example of that is Stormzy's interview that he just did yesterday on Hot 97. Well, yesterday from when we're recording this.
Yeah.
He done this interview, and most people, all the kids, I guarantee, all the kids are sitting there. When they asked about Wiley, they're all sitting there expecting him to be like, "Oh,
fuck his mum.
Wiley's old. Fuck his mum. All this." But what he did was he said, "All right, I don't agree with some of his morals, which is what I attacked in the songs, and everything I've said is on record. But I respect what he even said. I wouldn't exist without him." And he properly paid homage.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these kids thought he was gonna just slate him because that's the new thing to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 6ix9ine, if he was in that situation, he would have been like, "Yeah, fuck him, fuck him." Do you know what I mean?
Contest my gangster.
But
I let my nuts hang.
Yeah. But Stormzy, on the other hand, he took that approach of letting people know that Wiley is still a very, very respected MC.
This is it. And Stormzy knows that he still has to earn his place.
Exactly.
He's not just beyond it all now.
Exactly. And doing that actually ended up giving the whole of grime clashing and all of that, it kind of brought the light back onto it to say, like...
Just think how many kids Stormzy fans have now Googled the Wiley clashes and seen Wiley Kano from the first Lord of the Mics and thought, "Oh shit, no, like these guys were actually on it when they were Stormzy's age," like, sort of thing.
Devlin.
Yeah.
They made a track recently, didn't they? Or not too long
Yeah,
ago.
they did.
Yeah,
They did.
yeah.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah, they
What was
made
the
back up,
devil in
didn't they?
this, and he was like, used to say 36, 36. Nowadays
30,
you're about 36,
38,
36. 38, 38. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Can't knock your work rate. What's the what's some of the other beef? Do you remember Getz and Bashy on the rooftop?
Yeah, see, look, like, things like that. Like,
Yeah.
Bashy, like, people forget how famous Bashy
Yeah,
was back in the day.
Bashy.
Like, he was one of our exports. Like, he was acting in America, shit like that. And he's still got time to fucking clash in that because that was the scene. You had to earn your place. You couldn't dodge that part and also sell your records on behalf of Grime. And I do kind of, as much as I'm not questioning whether STORMZY realizes this or not now, because I know that he has. Like, he ain't an idiot in it. Like, you can hate him all you want. Like, the guy's not a fool in it. No one can say that about him.
Yeah.
But Wiley has poked him into sort of saying, like, yeah, look, if you call what you make grime, then actual grime will die. That's how hip hop died, because they didn't separate the new from the old. Like, and so it was like, well, hip hop's dead because nobody makes it. And sort of like, Grime's dead because everyone thinks that Giggs and STORMZY's grime. People think that...
No, but is hip hop
Like,
even dead? Because you look even
it's not
even,
that Grime
you
ain't
got Joey
dead, because
Badass.
you got novelist Mez, etc.
Well, you got
but,
even got like even like
and there's
Roddy,
more than novelist than
like-
Mez. I know I keep saying
like
that, but there's
obviously the
hundreds more
beats
than-
have changed in that, but is hip hop boom bap? No, boom bap's boom bap.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
hip hop is hip hop. Like I'd look at someone like even like obviously you can have the argument whether it's rap or hip hop, but people like Nipsey, people like Roddy Ricch, like these people who actually, when they jump on a track, there's substance in it. They come
Yeah.
through with like
Yeah.
just
you stop and listen. You
Yeah.
don't just bop to the beat. You every now and then you are like, oh,
yeah.
oh.
But because we got these new age, the beats are so hard now, innit? They're so
Yeah.
good now.
It's
that
its own. They're almost their own fucking, like, back in the day. You couldn't just put a hip hop instrumental on and everyone just be like. But now you could just put like some trap on and that, and you wouldn't. You don't even
even
need
on
a
the way
rapper,
here,
innit?
we was just playing
Dre the Ski Mask.
Dre the Ski Mask.
Yeah.
Just got beats playing,
Yeah.
and it's just that is substantial for a song, a
Yeah.
whole song.
Yeah.
Whereas you couldn't, like, if you put a boom bap beat on, someone better be freestyling. Or,
Yeah, that's it.
or I'm
yeah,
switching
yeah,
that
yeah,
shit
yeah.
off. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie,
But the thing is like.
unless it's Jay Dilla.
Yeah,
Unless it
oh
sound
yeah,
like
yeah,
Jay
yeah.
Dilla
New
or something.
Jarbies and all
Yeah,
that
all
shit.
that
Yeah,
kind of
that
stuff.
new age boom bap.
But that's
kind
the
thing.
kind of that's the lo-fi
Yeah.
meditating studying
Yeah,
music.
studying,
and that, yeah.
studying radio.
Everyone knows the
24/7 lo-fi chill music.
Everyone knows that thumbnail.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that thumbnail.
I swear it's literally got a guy at the desk as well.
It is.
Like,
It's the anime kid.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
anime
yeah,
kid.
yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
knows that thumbnail. Everyone knows that.
But no, I think.
But let's pull it back to the whole situation. So obviously, because I feel like
Yeah,
there's-
we're
there's-
not talking about Dot enough. He fucking.
This
he's
is- this
fucking
is what-
started
yeah.
it, innit? He poked the bellies.
and the work rate he's coming at. Like, have you been
360
listening to the music?
Mate,
Bro,
mate,
he's released
Some
like
of the
2,
best
3
UK
songs.
tunes I've heard for a while, and they're
He's
coming out
released
every
like
day.
He's released like 2-3 songs that aren't disses. That fucking
Yeah.
like I can't off the top.
And they're
I'm
all
sorry, I
different.
can't
They're all
remember what
different
called.
vibes. They're
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and Dot understands this. People aren't going to remember the names of the
Yeah.
tunes until the album comes out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But mate, that's going to be a bit of a madness when that actually comes out with over 365 songs.
It's 366. This year's a leap year. He had to change it.
Oh, fair.
If you look at the thumbnail, it says
Yeah,
366.
He's been doing
But-
that for time though. Like,
Yeah.
just been producing. I can't remember like.
Well, that's it. Just because he's not been spitting, the work rate's probably still been there the whole 10 years that he's not been about or whatever.
He's one of them ones that I've been following, just like
Yeah.
throughout since like talking about like old days,
Yeah.
like grime, and just followed him. Like, what was that tune that he did? Soul something. You had it. What was it? That Soul something or other.
Soul
Remember that
Brother?
Yeah, the instrument.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
Soul
yeah,
Brother,
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
a
like, do
hard
you know what I
beat.
mean? He's been dropping these beats that just bang.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
a
been
hard beat.
just so like underground, like.
Yeah. But
For a little
he's
while,
obviously
but-
been doing like pop stuff as well and that. Like I'm thinking, is it in the video for that J1 dish? You see a couple plaques and that, and it's a couple chart artists, isn't it?
Oh, he's got
Like serious credits.
yeah, he's got
yeah.
he's got some serious credits though.
You wanna, like, I've been following him on Snapchat since he first got Snapchat back. Can't remember when it was. It was like XXF or something like this. I was following
Producer
on that.
Zeph.
Yeah, but I can't remember what his Snapchat was. It
Oh,
was
I
something
don't know
X. I think it was XX something. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But yeah,
because
following-
XX used to be the logo for that Minami thing that he did, didn't he?
I'm sure. I don't
Do you
know.
Oh no, I think it's Zeph Ellis, but he puts like a X.
Oh yeah,
where the
Zach,
E is.
Yeah, he
yeah,
does. Yeah,
he
yeah.
does some
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
do you know who else needs a shine in on this whole
Cadell,
Cadell?
mate, he wrote the best.
Cadell, the best
diss.
song,
He
the
wrote
best song in
one.
this whole thing. Cadell.
Oh, yeah, maybe
100%.
we should provide a bit of context first. So obviously, Dot and J1 go at each other. J1 doesn't go at Dot Rotten at all, I don't think. Does he?
No, they-
He just
they
sends a
ignored-
video back of him spitting over his beat with the
No, they
tune,
ignored-
which is a bit weird.
They ignored it.
Yeah,
They ignored J1 completely.
but he got
ignored it.
paid, didn't he, Dot Rotten?
Oh yeah, he
in the
got
end.
paid. Yeah.
Got paid. The beat is been tweaked, so it's not Dot's beat anymore, is it? They just paid him anyway, and they're gonna use Still Bangles' version of it. Is that what happened?
No, I don't know. I think that
Because people are comparing the two beats sound different. The
I
one
think
that Dot
it's. I
Rotten
think
spat
it's.
over
I think
is
it's
different
like
to J1's.
switch up a couple.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like a producer would notice the difference, but on the radio you ain't gonna notice. Yeah. So you're still a fucking fraud, Bangles.
We're gonna start episode 1. We're just starting beef. Like, everyone's just gonna be pissed.
We've been
at
nice
us.
about Stormzy. He's the only important
Yeah,
one nowadays,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So,
But,
no,
yeah, so obviously when Stormzy blew up, he blew up off Shut Up, didn't he?
hmm
And Shut Up was a send for Cadell, and that
Mhm.
was in and amongst their whole thing. And then since then, obviously Stormzy's he's out of here now,
Mm.
but Cadell he's quieting down a lot, and so a lot of people don't know that when Stormzy's in these tracks saying Wiley's brother, it's Cadell,
Yeah.
and now Cadell has come through everyone. Go check it out, Cadell World War 3.
Yeah, because if you've listened to
It's-
Disappointed, Cadell talks about some of the claims in that as
Yeah.
well, and it's important that you hear both. With beef, you've always got, well, music beef anyway, you got to hear both sides, because a lot of people do just make stuff up, because if
Yeah.
it doesn't get addressed, it's now true,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And that does happen.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time
It's
nowadays.
mad that like music like that has got its own little politics going on.
But
Like you were saying about the
what we need to
channels, and the
protect it.
channels have got their own politics. It's
Yeah.
almost like newspapers where they'll favour one side
Yeah,
and
yeah,
chat
yeah.
shit about the other side, and or
Mm.
like
Yeah.
you know not properly.
They'll stick with where they think they can make a bit more money, perhaps. And yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you think something has to? I don't know. Maybe we need that. We need that Charlemagne, maybe, or we need that.
We need it.
We need that. We need
not
that
to
world
stop.
star hip hop where it's
Well, you know what's-
impartial.
You know
or,
what's
do you know what I
bad
mean?
though is that like when you think about grime, like all the clashes that happened, like we said about the rooftop and that.
Yeah, chatting
was-
to the mic a bit more, bro.
Yeah, back when it was like all those like rooftop clash, like
But that's
all
when
of
it was
that.
all the pirate radio.
Yeah,
You had
exactly,
like Commander
Risky
B,
Roads
the
and all
Grime
them thing.
Report, and like with Commander B, that's where a lot of the old clashes happened and shit.
Mm.
And like that's when MCs would go up to the radio station, pay their subs and that, and get on. And
Yeah,
he
no.
and so like Commander B one night would have like I don't know, say Wiley for example. Wiley would go on there, he'd send for a few people. The next day, the other people would come up to the radio and send back, and so that's how it sort of. It was a lot more natural, and that's how it like. I'm in a position of power now. No, but like that's how it happens so much more naturally. But now, where all these artists are signed by labels, they've got careers to protect rather than reputations to protect.
yeah,
And although I do feel like that's what came back a little bit, was the fact that Stormzy replied because he had to protect his reputation, and that's what we need a little bit more. We need that sort of like tribalism of like, say, a lot of the other grime artists, JME, Skepta, AJ Tracy, all the other Boy Better Know members that were called out, they've all sat there and thought, oh, well, I sort of need to protect my career a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It ain't worth it anymore. Things have changed. And that's why it will die off. Because they're not letting things sort of happen naturally, and they're like you would naturally react to someone. If
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
called you out, you'd answer. You wouldn't let someone persuade you that like it's not worth it and it sort of thing. And we need to get back to that almost boyish attitude.
Yeah.
And I feel like this did bring it back a little bit. If Stormzy didn't reply on a grime beat, I mean, I know the first one was a bit like drilly or whatever, but it was still like 140-ish. It was still pretty. It was pretty grimy, innit? Like the flow was more grimy than when he raps and shit. And I thought that's
So was this Stormzy's track?
yeah, I was saying how like like he was saying back in the day, how did it all happen and that, and I was saying because it happened so much more naturally, and I feel like Wiley did wake that up, like I said, where Stormzy realised he had to earn his place in grime again.
The Force Awakens.
Yeah, well that's it. If it stops now and only Doc Rotten carries on, it'll all just go back to shit.
No, but will it? Because I feel personally like
all but if the next Stormzy song isn't grime, everyone will forget about it.
No, but okay, yeah, but you gotta remember that Dot's calling out Dot's the one calling out all these other artists.
Yeah, and
JK,
they ain't on it. JK's
come back. He's coming for AJ Tracy and Big Zoo soon. He said something about it on Insta.
Oh yeah, because I see Big Zoo writing statuses and that. But that's good
Big
because
Zoo will jump on it.
Yeah, 100%. AJ won because he's got a fucking brand to protect in it. All this fucking I fucking love you, AJ Tracy, man. Like I fucking used to listen to you every time I knew he was on the radio. I'd sit and listen to it, and that little mini era of sort of Cadell, Nov, everyone like that coming back, that really sparked grime back.
It was like 2016, innit?
Yeah, 2014 to 16. 2014, like the beats started to come back, and there was like this weird sort of like neo grime movement.
What was that mixtape? History of Grime.
I don't know. What's that? Who's that?
There's like a mixtape.
Is that the yellow one with the red writing? And
No,
it's got all them
like a compilation.
The one with all the Castro tracks on it.
Oh no, Grime Historian. That's
that
on
Grime
our channel.
Historian.
Yeah. Castro Saint. He was sick back then.
Fam,
he
speaking
was
of
sick
Castro,
back then.
where's he gone?
Yeah, I know.
Where's he gone, bro? He came out with this sick album, and then he comes out with a okay album. Like, okay, it was artistic. He had the whole what was it? Taxi driver music or something. It was something like that.
Yeah, mate. Those couple, the Pat earrings.
Yeah,
that tune,
and he came,
that banged. I love that.
Yeah, but he came out with that, and then just disappeared.
So apparently, I've heard that he's like, as he is a bit of a creative genius. Like, I think he's experimented with a few things and that, and I think he is suffering from what I've heard, which is just complete conjecture in it. Like, I don't know that this person knows, but I've heard that he's suffering from a bit of like creative genius syndrome in it.
Oh yeah,
where
you sort of get that writer's block, and
he's probably gone on site. He's probably making some like punk rock privately or some shit. Like what it is though, innit? Like people that are that high functioning.
It's like what Eminem became.
Plan B done it as well.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi.
Yeah. Big up Kid Cudi.
Yeah,
but no, I think I hope that, like you say, if JK I hope everyone right now is getting ready for the war. I hope this wasn't the war. Between Stormzy and Wiley, I'm happy for that to end. But I hope that it now...
But it was so big. Stormzy and Wiley was so big because it is the old big guy, like minus Dizzy and that, but and Kano and Lethal Biz and all them. But it's the old big guy versus the new big guy.
But has Stormzy earned the right to be the new big guy of grime? Like, he's never even made a grime album. He's never made a mixtape where more of the songs are grime.
But this is where you need to listen to his interview, because that's where he says he never put himself to be. He never said, I'm the grime guy.
No.
Everyone just put...
Mate, the first tune I ever heard of his was a drill tune, innit?
It's the mainstream media. It's the mainstream media who have gone, oh, Stormzy, he's one of them. He's one of them London music, urban music.
Yeah, do you know what? I know they call gigs grime and that, but I understand where if someone didn't know about it, they would, because it's gritty. But they probably even call ads and that like grime.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what
100%.
I mean? Like,
I think it's the first time they probably put grime in the newspaper for Stormzy.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you see the Sky News thing? No. Where they said Wiley threatens Stormzy's mum over diss track, and Peter Andre tweeted them both like, guys, you're both fantastic artists. You just need to like lay off the family stuff and that.
I feel like we need Lord of the Mics with Peter Andre.
Yeah, they need to commission. They need to commission that. Just have him on the stairs in the basement reacting to all the bars, like,
guys.
Yeah.
And plus a little mysterious girl.
Say that.
But I mean,
let me do some backing vocals.
Come on, move your body.
Come on, move your body.
Come on, move your body. Your mum is a skit. Come on, move your body.
Oh, mysterious.
But no. Yeah, man. But I mean, I look at this whole situation, and I think a lot of people get it confused, and they think that Wiley's actually really mad when he's actually not.
Mate, he's the most
chilling.
bantery guy.
He's
people
trolling.
well mistake his rants for like he's only saying that he's ranting because like it's his thing. Like we'd rant to each other about Arsenal and Liverpool because that's probably what we've had in the last for the longest, if you think about it, sort of thing. Consistently obsessed with that team and that. But like, and so like it's his baby, innit? Like, so when shit happens, he feels like, and I feel like he has the right to air it out on Snapchat and shit.
He's the
like,
right to be a gatekeeper.
Yeah, like Stormzy and that aren't gonna chat about it because it's not their genre. They're making stuff with it, if you know what I mean, and out of it. So they're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, these new kids are pissing me off and shit, because they're just not that at that point in their career. Wiley is like sort of. I'm trying to think of like an American rap version, but like, do you know what I mean? He's at that, like you say, he's a gatekeeper, and we
like
need him to be. Yeah,
he's
that's
like
it.
Dr. Dre
that's
taking it to maybe not necessarily Dre. You could NWA as a whole.
Yeah,
but bringing in gangster rap.
Yeah, so
and
they can commentate.
They
on
can
gangster.
commentate.
Yeah.
But with Wiley, it's a little bit even more like.
It's his
Grime
thing.
is his baby.
Yeah.
Grime is his baby.
What do you call it? Like,
he may not necessarily be the king of grime. Because he even said Dot Rotten was the king of grime, which I think fair enough.
I think he's
I think
definitely earning that title.
He's the king of grime.
Yeah.
But if we talk about the godfather of grime, he's the godfather. He has to be the god. Like no one else
can't
is.
change.
That can't change.
Yeah,
that can't change.
There is an original.
Dot will
There's
always,
an OG.
Dot will no matter how many tunes Dot puts out, no matter how many mad beats Dot does, he will never be the godfather. Dizzy will never. He was the golden boy.
Yeah.
He will never be the godfather. Even if he comes back and does a fucking Boy in a Corner 2 and it's amazing.
Mate, that breaks my heart, man. Because like when growing up, like Dizzy and Kano were like my two fucking idols, and Kano still high respect, but he just doesn't. He's just not on that sort of music anymore, and I appreciate that. But he makes a lot of positive shit, and I got a lot of respect for that.
Well, he's very
but
lyrical.
Dizzy turned round and went, I don't owe you nothing. You're all bunch of fucking dickheads to me anyway.
He didn't really bring anyone through, did he?
And I kind of, he had Dirty Stank, but that never really blew up. And he had like D Double signed to that and shit back in the day, but it just never really blew up.
But D Double's not someone who you can put to the masses. D Double is like, if you don't know who D Double is, he might just seem like a bit of a weirdo to
well,
you.
no, that's
Do you
it.
know what
If
I
you
mean?
don't already know about even like
I love
the mainstream tunes like Street Fighter and shit, if
Yeah.
you haven't heard of them, you probably won't like it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
everybody's heard it,
But
innit?
and then you'll get all these new fans being like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" But then you watch him go up on Eskimo stage, everyone will go fucking mental.
Yeah.
They'll go mental.
Yeah. No one in any genre in the world, apart from maybe like James Brown, has been able to just go ooh, and everybody just like literally, if you're in the rave and you hear that on a tune, you get a bit goosebumpy. If it was actually him, innit, you'd be like, do you know what I mean? You just know. And like that's the thing, like when you listen like to the old radio sets and that, and I used to listen to it a little bit when I was like at school and shit, like the back end of it when it wasn't like pirate radio, but it like Kiss and Rinse and shit. And like there was that like
I feel that there was like more characters back then as well.
a million
Like
percent. This is why it's
seems like-
important that other people get involved now.
Seems like now there's just like, you know, it's a lot more generic now. But you think back in the day, there was
Stormzy
actual
is a very
characters.
generic rapper. I hate to
But
say
that's-
it because he is special in a lot
that's
of
what-
ways, isn't it?
that's
But
what
like,
sells
and
though,
that,
do you know what I mean?
that's the thing. If he's the bar,
No, but if you
then
say
grime is just going to be very like generic. There's not going to be those sort of like the one-liners, the funny voices. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Jammer and that.
what's his face? That's like, you don't want to bring Arms House. I'll bring Arms House to you. Like, do you know what I mean? And the little like and the General Levy and shit. Because Jungle
Do you know
MCs
what?
and shit, you won't get that. You'll just get the ooh, fuck your mum. No. Do you know what I mean? It's all like
And then
just
everyone's just-
angry young boy.
everyone's
It's
just
not like
repeating the
it's-
same,
yeah,
the
it's
same
not
drill
confident.
flows.
Yeah. And that because people have seen like Stormzy's probably like the most creative rapper they've ever fucking seen from the UK. Do you know what I mean? Like Young Ed's using auto tune makes him like the creative genius nowadays. Big him up still, but like people see him as like the one setting the rate and changing shit and stuff. And like all he's done is just copy a couple American rappers, isn't it? Like, and if that's the basis of what Grime's going to be built back on, and it's not going to be built back on Big Zoo, AJ, JK, Mez, Novelist, who, by the way, all have different styles and shit. Like that, just the first names that come to fit, they've all got different styles, their own characters, their own areas and that as well, which helps. because a lot nowadays, Krypton, Cone and Stormzy and that, they're all from like fucking Croydon and shit. So it's just like, it's literally, it's like when Peckham went big. But imagine if when Peckham was big, that was the only rap coming out, and everybody just did Peckham rap. Do you know what I mean? It would be pretty dead. There wouldn't be these offshoots and shit. And now all the offshoots happened, and everyone's just kind of picked that little like South London drill rap sort of thing. And I feel like if Grime comes back without the new heads,
I think North and West have their own style. I think
they
come through with that. They come through with that bossy, flexy kind of.
Yeah. West has always been very like boppy,
like,
innit?
Yeah, sort of like Ice City.
It's like Harlem, innit? It's like the Harlem of London.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
like
uptown,
South's a bit.
East End's downtown.
But do you know who I think doesn't get enough light? The part of London that I think deserves probably the most light and probably has the most potential. South East, mate.
Yeah.
South places like Woolwich.
Big up Jesse James.
Big up Jesse.
Big up
Trust me.
Jesse
Well,
from
I've got
SE.
a lot of artists, because fam, I'm gonna drop some names right now, and I like everyone who's watching this. Like, I want you to go look at their music because they're sick. Like I know this one guy called Cardo. He's from Peckham, I think. That's more south. But
No, SC15.
no,
big up Penisy as well, innit?
But Steve Drive, amazing artist. The guy is
Stephen
nuts.
Tries.
No, Steve.
I'm joking.
No, this guy Steve Drive. He's got like the guy is fucking. He's so naturally talented.
Yeah.
Like he's so naturally talented.
That's what we need again.
And
we
it's
need
like,
to start really pushing them sort of
blessed,
people.
He's one of the people that's blessed with a voice.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like you. As soon as you listen to a track and he's on it, you know him in it, and then you go to the comments and everyone's saying, "Oh, that guy's the best. That guy's the best." And it's like he's got one of them voices. But I'd like before I forget, let me just shout out a couple names. Like you got like House of Pharaohs, all their stuff. Their stuff's sick. 808 Inc. Like they're sick. Paul Stefan, shout out Paul.
Yes.
You know Paul Stefan?
I fucking love Paul
Oh,
Stefan.
shout out Paul, man. Shout out Paul.
He's sick. Yeah, big up.
I was
I'm
chatting
always
to
on
him
his
the
fucking
other day.
SoundCloud.
Full sound, man. Full sound. Yeah, no,
Is he?
fucking.
He's got a nice swag as well, innit? I like his fucking
We'll
swag.
try to get him on. We'll try to get him on.
Yeah, 100, man.
But,
That'd be sick.
yeah, no. Who else from South East? Like, well, just like, I think they go about 18 or something. Like they've all got. It's like 8 and then teen, like teenagers. Yeah. Fucking, like their group that's what Steve Drive is part of. They're quite sick. They've got like a nice sound. But I think but if we talk about specifically House of Pharaohs, I think they're coming through with this Maz. Oh, Young Fume as well. Young Fume as well. These are all, do you know what I'm saying? These are all Southeast rappers.
People forget that Young Fume was like the first to really pump that fucking like the sick auto-tune, like
yeah.
People
North
forget that,
innit?
And he must have been like 16, 17 as well when he first started banging like the auto-tune and that, which is like,
and bro, it's tunes that are coming out now. They're like I know it's just my opinion, but they're some of my favourite.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And House of Pharaohs are now coining their own sound as well. That sort of jumpy, flexy, happy kind of proud to be British vibe and like fam,
but we need that replication in grime.
But it doesn't, because why does it need to be in grime? Grime's its own genre.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It needs the different voices in grime rather than there just being Wiley and Dot now and no one else is really doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, because if we're gonna because
there is the
artists,
guys there.
No, but House of Pharaohs, we shouldn't even talk about grime when we're talking about them because with them they're just London artists.
Yeah.
And then you yourself are falling in the mainstream trap of associating these artists with grime, which we need to stamp out. That's something we need to...
I don't mean as in we need people like with that sound, but we need that variance of artists. Because Stormzy's grime sound is shit. Like, I don't like one of Stormzy's grime tunes, innit? All the tunes I like his... I know it's bad. I like his gospel-y stuff. Like, I kind of like that, innit? But his grime's shit. If that's... Like, JK's sick, yeah? But, like, he ain't going to fucking bring grime back, innit? Like, but we've got those guys there. Do you know what I mean? The novelists, the mezzes, the
novelists.
Yeah, we've got them there. But, and again, like, it probably even comes back to this point. Is everyone pushing House of Pharaohs? Is everyone pushing Paul Stefan?
House of Pharaohs, they're not getting
That's
a
what I
look
mean.
in.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
It's all the basic generic people that just get all the fucking pushing, and all the actual talent just sort of comes and goes.
Well, this is where it ties sort of back into the whole GRM thing and everything, and how much they run it. Because if you haven't got a mate up there, like, do you know what I mean? You haven't got a good link to GRM, and I'm talking like you got to have a link in a pretty good place in their company. Boy, I think now it's $350
just for an upload.
Just for a fucking upload. They're charging $350. But
Cool,
these artists, they'll come to you and they can't even. Some of them, most of them, can barely afford $350 for the video itself.
Yeah.
Let alone a fucking upload. Fair. Alright, cool.
They're white man in the thing. They're white man in the thing.
But on the other side of it, fair enough. Charge more, you filter out the shit more. The people who really want it are gonna do it. But the problem is,
if they did that from the start, then nothing would have started.
Posty's a numbers guy, and so you might look at one of the, like a House of Pharaohs, like a Paul Stefan, and you see, all right, cool. You bought in a video. If it don't blow up, you bought in big numbers before. Yeah, that's all well and good. But what did your last track do? Oh, your last track only have done 5k, 10k. But let's bear in mind that's on their own channels.
Yeah.
That's on their own channels.
Or that's on that exposure yet.
Yeah. And then, with GRM freezing these, not necessarily freezing these people out, but not giving them the shine they deserve, or not that they deserve, but just not giving them shine anyway. Now it creates this culture of there's the GRM lot, and then there's everyone else. And so you look at people like Octavian, like shout out Essie, like you got Octavian, you got like Slow Tie, and then all these other people
to blow up without
they've shown it's possible. But the problem we have with that now is that there isn't much of a culture around them. No. They're just their own singular entities. Whereas if we had a channel that was more based around that kind of music, do you know what I mean? A bit more, I'd say more artistic kind of style.
It can't just be a send from a group of youngers to another group of youngers, innit? Like they've got to be actual rappers and shit. They've got to have a plan or whatever, an album. But they can't just This
is where it comes back round, because it's GRM. They're so focused on numbers that I don't really think they have
negativity gets numbers as well. That's the bad thing.
The A&R they probably have there, I guarantee most people wouldn't fuck with their music taste. Or if they do, the people that fuck with their music taste the most are more likely 14, 15-year-olds. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what they're trying to appeal to. They've seen that the money comes in with the kids watching, so that's what they're gonna push. They're gonna push all these fucking. They're gonna push Krypton Conan's new track, and they're gonna play that fucking clip of him saying "suck your mother" in Portuguese or something. It's not even the right language.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean?
I know. But you can't say anything about them because there are heroes now. They've saved the UK scene by doing fucking mugging a couple youngers off for a remix. Piss take. Like they are not Abracadabra's voice, innit? Like that's Abracadabra, innit? Like he would have blown. That tune would have got big with or without their remix, innit? If it got played,
it wouldn't have got it.
But it wouldn't get the push.
It wouldn't get a push that it got with them, and then
do you know what I mean? They're pumping all of this like, oh, if you say drill's bad, then you hate black people. But then all they're playing is the negativity because the positivity don't do numbers. Who's the fucking bad? Who's the bad person? Do you know what I mean? It ain't fucking us. It's the people with the keys. Like with power comes responsibility, innit? Like you can't just shy away from that responsibility. Well, I mean, people do, but you shouldn't, as a human, be able to shy away from that human responsibility and sort of like, no, I just want to, but I've got 10 extra pound and all of this, like, and everyone just goes, oh, fuck it, fuck all the kids dying, you earned a fucking tenner, well fucking done, mate, dog eat dog and that. Do you know what I mean? It's bollocks. But people don't stand up to that because they don't want to be seen as like the bummy one. Oh, it's not about money because you haven't got money and all of that, and it's such a bad attitude. Now
there's this culture in London.
I know when they talk about the culture, I'm like, no, it weren't what it fucking used to be, bro.
But no one wants to talk about each other because you even get
it's a horrible culture
Chucky,
now.
Yeah, I think you're sick, but
yes, big up.
There are some times in the conversation where you're listening to the podcast and you're like, I can tell you're dancing around a subject.
Yeah.
Like it's so obvious you're dancing around a subject.
But it's hard to when you're in London. It's hard. It's hard to get in at it, isn't it?
Even myself, even myself, I've like I'm not too in it, but I feel like sometimes I can't say things because there'll be someone who's not gonna like it. They're not gonna like it, and then next thing I know, I've been blackballed.
Yeah.
Which is, and do you know what the perfect example of that is? Dot fucking Rotten.
Yeah.
Dot Rotten, mate. He's the perfect example of everything we're saying.
Yeah.
And I just feel like GRM, okay, do your thing in it. Like I'm like.
I mean, what they did for the scene to begin with, like I used to check Grime Daily every single day of my fucking life when it was Grime Daily before it was GRM as well.
Yeah, but we need to have. I don't know. I just think there's a space for a new channel.
Yeah.
There's so much
space for a new movement entirely.
Yeah.
A channel that comes with, I don't know, maybe some new sort of festivals, maybe some new sort of club nights, maybe, and do you know what I mean? Rather than this just like
Lord of the
this one size fits all. It's the culture. You can't disagree with it. Sort of thing. Because that ain't gonna help no one. And to be honest, a bit like fucking economies. You've been telling it there. But no, it gets to a point where the money will dry up, but there won't be an actual naturally built scene to back it up. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think the money will dry up purely because you have down to 2-year-olds listening to one of them catchy songs in the same way that we listen to.
It's the hot minute. Trends don't last forever. Hip hop hasn't always been the most popular. Rock used to be the most popular. Jazz used to be the most popular. I think that there's an expiry date on every genre. There's obviously always going to be money in it because we're going to be alive and shit, and we'll support the scene and who we love and shit like that. But I mean, like pop wise, people like Stormzy might be there forever because they're so sort of known now. But there's going to be a point where they're going to be like, oh no, we don't need another Stormzy. Like, we're on to something else now. Yeah. The house drum and bass is, but house is garage or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, bruv, it was
at the moment like drill and rap is the sound. Like it's on Radio 1, bruv.
When we turned 18, the only drill that was knocking about was Chief Keef.
It's Chicago,
and everyone
and
like I can't say
Lil
what
Herb,
people in London like back in, because this would have been 2013. You can work out our ages.
Yeah. No, but it was getting played. It was getting played.
In that time, that was all house.
Yeah,
like, house was the big thing.
Yeah,
like deep house when
down to the raves and that. Yeah,
like deep house with all like MK and fucking what's his name, Chris Lorenzo and Hannah Wants.
Yeah.
They was all massive, and then sort of garage made kind of a comeback, and so did D&B, because D&B was big up until about 11, 12, and then it kind of died out a bit.
Then Grime had a year or two.
Yeah, and then Grime had its year or two. And then from that came this industry. This
6-7 weren't the first, but they were definitely the ones to make it go. If it weren't for 6-7, I don't think rap would have been, because it's mainstream in America now.
It'd be 150. It'd be 150.
But drill, I think without 6-7, I don't think drill would be as popular.
No, but it was 150 came out with that big song.
Was it there? Yeah, but
Fiddy 150.
Yeah, but we'd listen to that. But do you think?
No, that was big. That was big.
What, like even like?
Yeah, like everyone in London was listening to that.
Yeah, but London's its own bubble, isn't it? So if
London's its own bubble, but that was
it
the
doesn't
first.
Create an economy,
I'm saying that was the first of. I'm not disagreeing with you with the impact that 6-7 had, because they put
money into the scene.
They put drill from here to here.
Yeah,
but I don't know. From what I've heard anyway, someone's probably going to prove me wrong, but 150 did it first, kind of.
Yeah. I'm not saying 6-7 were first by any means, innit? Because they weren't. Like at the end of the day.
I mean,
they were. The rest of them even catty flows and that.
By first, I mean the first to have something big. I can't remember what the song is for the fucking life of me. Like, forgetting everything today, but they were the ones that first came with a big drill tune, and then 6-7 were closely followed behind with
backed by GRM.
Yeah, exactly.
151.
How much of an impact do you think that like Americans taking an interest in grime has had on the
Oh,
scene.
1,000,000%, because drill
Yeah.
is an American genre. They can buy into it so much more than
Like,
grime,
I
because
mean-
they're like, oh, they're copying us. This is sick. Like when I hear like some fucking like a Japanese guy spit on grime and that, I'm like, yeah, big up. Like he's even copying the slang and that. Like,
With,
and so when Americans hear us like 4-door truck, they're probably thinking, like, oh yeah, that's what Chief Keef and shit started. Like, so it's yeah.
One of my favourite things about this whole beef has been the reaction videos. The Americans
my
reacting to
God.
videos.
Mate, that has been priceless. That has been absolutely priceless. If we remember, we definitely have to put a couple of links to them.
Yeah, what's the one?
No, it's
Terminal 4.
Terminal
Yeah.
4 is like where you
right,
get
right,
when you
right. Get on
So
the
like
plane.
Terminal 4? Like, if you go to like, let me go back to the start. If you go like to an
I've
airport,
seen that stuff.
like
Nah.
the best
Oh,
part of
mate.
it, the best part, Terminal 4 don't go to Cyprus. So he's deep in
Oh,
the
no,
bar,
it's
but he
Hey,
doesn't deep.
look,
No,
That's Cyprus. Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
Cyprus.
say something
Bruv,
about this.
How's that a diss?
I'm gonna say something about this.
How's making your mum live in Cyprus
Wait, no,
a
no,
diss
no, no.
compared to living in fucking Croydon? Sorry, Stormzy's mum, but Croydon's a fucking shithole, bruv, compared to Cyprus.
For real.
Come on, that ain't a diss. That ain't a diss.
And I've got to say this, yeah. I see a lot of kids now on socials and that commenting like Cyprus is a third world country. It's fucking
It's a
beautiful.
fucking
It's
yes.
fucking beautiful.
I
out there.
would
That's
love
my,
to live
that's
there.
my country.
Why
That's
do you
my
think
country.
Wiley goes there all the time? Because it's his holiday home.
Yeah,
like,
trust me.
Do you know what I
No,
mean?
the-
The one.
Like fucking is it Iron Upper Cyprus or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
Napa
Yeah, do you know what I
Cyprus.
mean? It's got
Greek side only though.
Yeah.
But wait, have you seen that?
Yeah,
They,
let's start some real historical things.
yeah,
right now. yeah.
Let's fill that up.
You seen the
I'm not gonna say nothing. Fuck the Kurds, no, I'm joking.
that reaction video when
yeah. Please.
the thing about these Americans that react to these videos though is like they're just not understanding the slang or what it means.
No.
Like what was the thing that he said about send shots or bricks for the window?
Yeah, when he was like, you sent your mum to Cyprus because you couldn't keep her safe because somebody sent a shot through your window.
And he's
So
like,
the
whoa.
So he
They
shot Wiley's mum?
and she moved to Cyrus.
Cyrus, yeah, that was the one.
So he moved to Cyrus? This is war. It's like, he doesn't know what Cyrus means. But it's like an old army American name, isn't it? So they just think, Cyrus? War?
Cyrus?
But it's good. It's good.
Oh, it's
to-
healthy.
Yeah, but-
It's good
It's
that they're
healthy.
taking an interest though.
Oh,
No,
I
but the
mean,
thing is, you
1,000,000%.
say that, but
Their
look at
interest in
artists.
drill's gone to an interest in grime, which is good.
Yeah, but you look at that, yeah, and then you look at artists like I'm talking back when JME like 2011 with Trey Mission. Do you remember Trey
Yes.
Mission?
Yeah,
When-
I
this
love
was
Trey
when
Mission.
this was when
Um,
Westwood
love
was still a
Trey
thing.
Yeah, Steve's gang, innit? Trey Mission.
Murky Ace.
yeah.
And Cadell, I think.
Yeah, Cadell was
Yeah,
in
it
it.
was- no, it was No, they were called.
Cadell was
Tizzy Gang.
feature. Tizzy
Tizzy
Gang,
Gang,
not
that's the one.
Steez. Steez is their
Steez
fucking
Gang.
tune that I always listen to.
No.
Yeah.
But that was, do you know what? It's looking back at grime like now, and looking at all of the different stages that we've had. So you remember like you had like Chipmunk, Oopsie Daisy. You remember Ice
like
Kid?
The Tinchy Strider, Tiny Temper, Chipmunk, make
Remember-
one grime tune, then go pop.
Yeah.
That era of music
Yeah.
made me fucking hate.
That's
rap
what
for a
Wiley
good while.
hates, because people label Wiley as that, but Wiley will make 30 grime tracks in a year and then drop his chart tune, if you know what I mean. But his grime tunes just don't get that much exposure anymore. People, I mean, you could go through his channel and even I would see tunes that I've never heard before.
Yeah.
And I guarantee they're grime, guarantee they're produced by a grime producer. And that's what pisses Wiley off, I think, is that he gets put in that bracket with everyone else that's ever made a pop song. But it's like, no, I'm grime. I'll just make a bit of money once a year, innit?
Yeah.
Tinchy Strider and all of that, as much, I mean, Rough Squad, fucking, I used to love Rough Squad when I was younger, but Tinchy Strider, bruv, like, do you know what I mean?
What was
Like,
that?
That's selling out.
But you look at like, I don't know, the popularity of it. Like, do you ever think of like, if you were to look at Star in the Hood back in the day? You remember them?
Yes.
Everyone wanted the T-shirt,
Yes.
Star in the Hood.
But that's
T-shirt.
it, we don't have that, like, movement, do we, with it?
We got
now?
like Trap Star and stuff now.
Yeah, but that's way and beyond UK rap, innit? Like, that's fashion
But
in general.
I just
trap
just
style, man.
think like
That's
I
big
wonder
now.
what these artists would be like if they were to blow up now. Do you know what I mean? What
Yeah,
if
would
if
they?
like Chipmunk's peak was now? Would they blow?
Yeah, because
Do you know what I mean?
the music they'd be making, the pop music, wouldn't be so poppy because rap's popular now. Just in general, people listen to Drake, people listen to Kanye, etc. Like, so
Yeah, would they have come up making
would grime
something
have
a
had
bit
to
different?
have? Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, do you know what grime needs now? It needs an epic Lord of the Mics.
Yeah, that's it. It
Alright,
needs
alright,
all that
I'm gonna
people
put-
that make grime to
I'm gonna-
separate themselves from rap and do their own thing, so that we can have like separate scenes, because everyone else is getting all of the fucking juice.
Alright, so if let's hypothetically Lord of the Mics this weekend.
Yeah.
There's eight play. Let's play 10.
New
So
new
10
versus old
10
thing, or is that just
No,
trying
no.
too hard?
Let's
Ain't gonna happen.
let's not even worry about who's versing who, but who would
Okay.
you want to? Let's say there's 10 spots there.
Yeah,
Because 10 is probably a bit hard to think of in a spot, but it's a decent number, isn't it?
yeah.
So who
Yeah, but
who would be your 10?
Yeah, but you got to think, like, you see, back in the day when a grime artist came up, it was like a blood sport. Do you know what I mean? Grime
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
This is what I mean.
it grew from that whole dancehall culture of clashing.
Well,
that's
yeah,
where we
that's
get
it.
the word
It's
from. Do you know what I
British
mean?
Jamaican Caribbean culture.
Do you know
That's
what I
what
mean?
I'm
This
saying.
is like my dad going to raves back in the day.
Yeah.
Or they
Sound
used to call
system,
it, used to
innit?
call it a blues and that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but you'd have, yeah, like you say, sound system. You'd have this system versus this one, and that's where this has grown from. Like this is where the root of that whole clashing.
If you lose that, you lose it. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't
That's
lose.
what grime
You can't
is
lose the
again.
force.
Radigan
and be
and
Star Wars.
And that's what it
Radigan
needs
Barry
again.
G back in the day. That was one big, like I think it was like 4 days on the radio in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Like over the radio, Dad said you have to tune into it to listen to it and that.
See,
Yeah, back
but
in
that's
the day.
also it. Is you, the commitment means that you're more obsessed. Like back in the day, where I felt like, do you know what I mean? I knew more about it than other people. That made me more
Yeah.
inclined to buy the shit because
Yeah,
it was
do you know
my
what?
thing, innit? Do you know what
It's-
I mean?
it's
Not
mad
mine,
how-
but do you know what I mean? It's like no, like this is my favorite artist, so I'm gonna buy his T-shirt. Like,
But
do you
the
know what
other
I
thing
mean?
is, like-
nowadays, I'm not really that bothered about none of them.
Yeah.
You think about as well how like just going back to that whole like how you'd hear about the beef. So I remember getting Bluetoothed songs.
Yeah.
By Dom. Me and Dom
Yeah.
used to love it, like the Bluetooth
So you
thing.
wouldn't
Yeah.
all see it at the same time.
No, it gets
Everyone would
spread
get
out.
it gradually. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Bluetoothed, and you'd see raw raw.
But now everyone's waiting for their subscription notification.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
Taking it
You
a
don't
step
have
back.
to commit. You don't have to take time out of your day and that.
No, you'll
What-
get. You're told what to watch.
Yeah.
You're told what to watch now.
My dad was saying like back in the day they'd wait for little cassettes to come over from Jamaica.
Yeah.
People that have been recording the radio on cassettes.
Back in the
import it.
day, all of my older like cousins and that, they'd all fucking swap cassettes and shit. Where like one of them
Yeah.
was listening to the radio that night, and it was like Fabio and Groove Rider, and so they recorded that, and then they'd like swap it for like a Heartless Crew one that was on
Yeah,
another
yeah.
radio session and shit like that, and they'd have like old hip hop ones that were like recorded and shit like that for when they came over and did like a freestyle and shit, and like, do you know what I mean, that makes it so much more.
And I feel like, do you know what
a
was
thing?
Do you know what was mad like back then was where you could have an artist that would blow, and their distribution channel was purely through Bluetooth. Like you'd
Word
have
of
that
mouth.
one sick kid that would make a tune like local, and then that would go mad through Bluetooth. and
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
LimeWire and all that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
everyone would have it on their phone, innit, no matter what.
Yeah.
I miss those days so much.
It
Well,
makes
yeah,
you-
yeah. Grime needs that injection of
yeah.
fire. So
To go
if
back
we-
to the
so if we
Lord
were-
of the Mics.
well, yeah. That's what I'm saying. If we had these 10 artists, who are them 10 artists that are gonna bring that back?
Yeah,
Yeah, but this is
and
what-
saying a good point you saying are going to, because I would say Kano, but he wouldn't do it.
No, he wouldn't.
But this is-
he's
this
way
is-
beyond.
this is
Skepta
what
wouldn't do it. Jamie wouldn't do it.
I think Skepta could come back. I think Skepta.
Do you think he would?
I think he could step it. JME, no, he's
But
too
this
much. He's too much of the nice guy now, isn't it? But
Yeah,
I reckon Skepta.
I'd
has
love
achieved-
to see
I
it.
think Skepta, because obviously Skepta's gone off and he's gone as. Oh, camera died.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say. So it's like saying about who could come in and be like the 10 artists nowadays. Like the thing I was saying about back in the day is that when an artist sort of came into the scene, they would have to, you know,
Earn their
prove
stripes.
themselves. Yeah, and it was that blood sport back in the day. It was that sort of you'd clash. Look at Kano. I still remember it in my head. I can still see it in my head. You got Kano at the bottom of the stairs, Wiley behind him, and it's like they're clashing on the stairs. They're that close, like
Yeah.
clashing. That was like what Lord of the Mics 1, I
that
think.
was Lord of the Mics 1. I'm pretty
And
sure
then
that
I
was
remember,
1.
do you remember the one Devilman and Skepta in the
Yes, in the
underground?
dungeon.
But yeah, the thing that if you look at artists nowadays, because there isn't that sort of, well, obviously you've got like clash, you've got sending for people. That's different from
Yeah.
clashing.
There is
How
in
many-
grime. There is still little bits of it. Like say surprisingly enough, AJ Tracy actually come up through doing that. Still, Novelist and Cadell.
But that's what I mean, though.
Like, who's the boss?
If we were going to
the
name,
end of it. That was the last we.
and if
That
we're
was-
going to
that was
name,
the last
that
we
was
saw
the,
of
that
it.
was the start of their era.
if we're
Do you know
going
what I
to
mean?
name 10
'Cause that was
artists,
like 2014.
No, but I feel
when
like
they
that was when Grime had its second death. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
After
know what
that,
you mean.
after
but
that was when it went
you
away.
got to think
again.
like Sir Spyro was only doing like rinses and shit like a couple years ago, and like there's like people like Ten Dixon and Tommy Butler and that big guy. I didn't just say that 'cause he's got the same surname as me and he's actually sick. Essex kid, no, he's sick. And they all still clash in that. So like, it could come back.
But I mean, if we're going to say 10 big artists,
But that's it, yeah. Would it be those artists,
So
or
when
would
you
it
say
be
about grime now,
ones no one knows
you're
about?
talking about artists that can make grime as a genre, but how many of them could actually clash and even freestyle?
I'm saying,
Do you know what I mean? How many of them can go at it like that?
I'm saying an artist who's lyrically ready for war. An artist who, even though they make this, and
I'd love to
we
see
can look at
Novelist and
Skepta
Mez.
say,
I'd
Yeah,
love
but-
to see Novelist, Mez, Cadell, like the obvious youngsters, because they've never had that opportunity to really do a Lord of the Mics.
yeah.
And
yeah,
but
fully.
I would love to see a young versus old.
I think that can happen,
Like
man.
Wiley
Well,
versus
we're put-
Cadell or something like
well,
that.
we're
I can
putting-
imagine that. bro.
Wiley versus Cadell. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, that would be
like
crazy.
an old Birmingham head against JK and shit like that. Like it could be
Yeah.
like you're fighting for the throne of your area again or something like that. DWE could be like, could do the Newham one. Well, like Newham's a Boris, that's a bit arse, that covers E3 and everywhere, doesn't it? But, do you know what I mean? You could have like, do you know what I mean? The
Like
battle for E3, the battle for
Devilman
E6.
versus JK or something. Like.
Yeah,
Something
something like that, innit? Where even if it's like, even if they aren't angry with each other, the young versus old could maybe create enough of a natural friction for them to be like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna go for him. Fuck it, old guy. Fuck it, young boy. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think, like you say, I don't think they're ready for just like back in the day, like you say, like they just get called out on the radio,
Yeah, you'd have
and whether they
bars
wanted
ready
it or
for it.
not,
Do you
they'd
know what I
have
mean?
to fucking reply. Otherwise, no one would fucking. You'd be
Yeah,
like, no,
no
you're a
one's
pussy,
ready.
innit? You ain't on
No
this
one's
team.
ready.
You'd
like.
have bars
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
for it.
And yeah, I think Getz has got.
Gets would fucking.
Yeah, I feel
he
like
bits.
he's trying to be above that now and do positive shit and that, and I respect that, just like Kano. But I feel like Kano would laugh it off, and I feel like Getz has still got that little bit of a.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
He's
innit?
got,
Like,
he's got that
yeah,
fire
yeah,
in him.
He
hasn't
could be like, fuck it, throw it all to the fucking wind. I'm going into
Let's
this clash.
let's put down 10 artists then. So who? Go on,
I
bring
reckon-
who we
I
like to
reckon-
see.
I reckon I'd like to see Getz as part of it. to be honest with you.
I'd love to see
yeah,
Getz.
Getz would have to be part of it.
Devlin.
I think
Wiley
yeah,
versus Stormzy in
Wiley
the
has
clash,
to-
bro.
Yeah, Wiley and Stormzy.
Imagine
Wiley-
them actually clashing.
I was saying
Face
this to someone
to
the other day.
face.
Yeah,
actually.
that's what I'm saying. Sending is
how,
different.
This is how
Yeah,
this beef.
yeah.
This is how this beef can
It comes to
truly
the
get
same-
finished with.
They can be
Like,
like,
obviously,
"Oh,
it's probably finished with now. Like everyone's fucking
Yeah,
done with it.
realistically.
But if we're gonna, if we're really gonna stay true to what grime is and how grime comes about, we need a fucking clash, boys.
Yeah.
Wiley, Stormzy,
Yeah.
fucking sort it out. Jammer, sort it out.
Yeah,
we
trust.
need a fucking clash.
Yes.
And yeah, I think Wiley gets Stormzy. Who else? Mez.
Yeah, Mez Novelist.
Mez Novelist. They got to be in there. I think. Do you reckon? Let's put Skepta in there as well because he's
Yeah, because
he's,
he's
legendary
involved,
now.
innit?
isn't he?
Yeah, I'd hope he'd be involved.
Do you know who I
I-
think?
do
Is,
you know-
do you know
if-
who I think is hard
Go on.
in a clash? Devlin.
Yes.
Devlin's just got that. Like, I was
Yeah,
listening
no, but we
to
don't-
Devlin.
no, but
you
we
need
don't-
to, you
no,
need
but-
to have a white boy
but-
battle. You
yeah.
can't. Do you know what I mean? You have to have the token white boy
But is,
battle.
but then
Eminem.
is that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
is that just reviving old careers for the sake
No,
of
but you're
grime,
saying
or is
about
that- or is
old
it-
versus new.
Because he's no, but Devlin's a
Well, I
good.
was-
He's got a good clashing ability.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
he
yeah,
came
true.
up on the radio.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
what
I'm,
saying.
I don't know. I guess I'm seeing it in terms of like
Could it blow?
who's no, but not whether could it blow, but who actually has a bit of a leg to stand on nowadays. Do you know what I mean? Because Cadell actually has a bit of. So there's still a bit of
Something to chew on,
There's still
isn't it?
something
Yeah,
there
yeah,
with
yeah.
Stormzy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's like.
Always
Like,
been a bit of a rivalry
I mean,
between
if-
him and Wiley
if-
almost.
if-
Like they haven't really supported each other, have they? Like,
Yeah, for sure. Do you know? Actually, do you know who I think? I think could do fucking well in this Lord of the Mics. I reckon Slow Tie. I reckon
yeah.
he. I reckon.
Do you know what?
I
You
reckon
could
he'd
do that. You
something.
could do like an a cappella round or something
Nah,
like that.
put him on a beat, fam.
Yeah, but does he
Put
spit
him on a
rhyme?
beat. He's done grime.
I don't know.
Have you not seen that one with it's got like red and blue lighting? Oh, it's so hard.
No,
it's called
I'll really rate
it's
so hard,
called
but a
like
proper
I
falling
think it's
off
called
him.
Round and Round or Round and Around or some shit, something like that. Look it
So,
up.
no,
bro.
but
Look
I
it
know
up,
what
it's
you mean, innit? He's got
hard.
that personality
It's
where
hard.
even if he didn't hate the guy, he'd understand that
He
it's part
can-
of the sport, innit?
He
And
can
he'd
come
turn
with
up.
that fire.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
someone
yeah.
that can come with that fire, and that's what I'm saying. Devlin, I feel like
Do you reckon he's
where
past
he's,
that?
I feel like where he's at mentally, he's probably in that kind of Kano space now. He's
Yeah.
not. He's not in that.
Yeah.
He's not in that
He's
space
earned
of.
the right to go and do positive shit, innit?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
He has.
He's already done the clashes. He's already fucking come up against Wiley. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's already done all that, and now like I'm not saying I don't want his career to ever hit peaks again, but he's not really relevant no more. Do you know what I'm
No.
saying? Like,
No.
what was the last tune he released?
Not too long ago, actually, but
Fair.
maybe that
I mean, I
proves
don't
the-
know.
Maybe
I
that
don't
proves
know.
the point.
Yeah, maybe
even
that
more,
proves the
innit?
point
Like, yeah.
exactly. But I mean, yeah,
Sorry,
I think
I'm so sorry, Devs. But
Shout out Devlin,
it's
shout out
it's
Devlin.
life, though, isn't
and
it?
it's the thing. All these, and I want to say this as well.
Like, I'd love
to-
Sculpture and shit like that, but that actually Sculpture.
Scorcher's an actor.
No, but
now.
yeah, but
Nah, he makes
Bro,
bangers. He makes bangers.
bro,
still.
do you know
He makes
Wretch
bangers.
32 banged his missus when he was inside, and he come out last year and that. So the Wretch 32 used to spit grime in it, so maybe that could be a fucking.
Nah, but
clash.
Wretch is in that positive space
Yeah, again,
as well, where
again,
he can't,
yeah,
he
yeah,
can't
yeah.
clash, he can't
Nah,
jump in his
nah.
clashes.
He couldn't do that and let his kids watch it. Do you know what I mean? That
exactly.
sort of thing.
He's coming out with all these positive sort of.
And we
more
do need
soul-y
that. We
tracks.
can't take them away from doing that
Nah,
job,
keep
innit?
him doing
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Keep him doing that
yeah.
because he's doing
Lethal
such a good
Bizzled,
job.
nah.
Nah, fuck him.
He's corny, bro.
He's
Like,
so-
big,
Deary
big
tried
up
to-
the
he's-
business shit and that. Like, fair enough. He kind of invented making creative money out of it,
Yeah.
Grime. But still, yeah.
He wants to make a fucking new POW. He said
Oh,
the other
really?
day, he said the other day, who's ready for the new POW, and everyone was like, "Yeah, you can keep it, man."
Yeah, PAL 2011 just didn't do what the original PAL did, innit?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I just want to say as well to the internet, to the masses watching, whoever's watching this, nothing we say about any of these artists is anything personal. It's all.
Oh,
It's
these
all.
are
we're-
all
we're
that.
all-
It's not
Mo-
the views of
every
Sky
single
Sports.
person
It's
we've
all-
mentioned tonight, bar Stormzy, I've fucking idolised. Like,
But it's all. But this is. But I think one thing we need to get out here is the opinions and conversations that we're trying to put out there right now is the conversations of just general fans.
yeah, we shouldn't be
And
scared to fucking chat about what we put
look at
our
Uncle
money
Rafool
into,
when
innit?
when Uncle Rafool when it said something about Dave,
Oh,
Dave starts
yeah, but
crying.
what
Like
fuck,
big, I
like-
like Dave in it, but why is he crying about that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you crying about
I'm not
that?
the biggest
Let
fan of
Uncle
him.
Rafool say what he's gonna say. He's a critic.
Yeah.
Bruv, you're gonna get critics.
That,
Like, it's-
as soon as I saw that, I was just like,
yeah,
I mean,
I lost a bit of respect.
I don't
for
even
him,
think
so
you're
I
that
don't
good,
know about
brother.
that.
Now I just think you're a bit of like, if I don't think your music's that good, like Stormzy, I don't like his music, but I fucking love Stormzy. Like, I
Yeah.
love the guy.
Yeah.
If I didn't like the guy, I wouldn't be no fan at all,
Yeah,
innit? And I'm
trust.
kind of in that place with Dave where I don't really like his music. I feel like he's very lucky that he gets the features he does because they're always the best part of the tune.
Yeah.
And he's a very good rapper in it, but it's just I just haven't connected with
Well, I
it
mean,
yet.
the album
maybe
was
that's
sick.
because everyone told me he was so good.
Did you
and I
listen
was
to
a
the
bit
album?
like, yeah,
What do you think?
it's good.
There's
But
some
ag-
good tracks on it.
Yeah, it's good, and I'm not saying he's shit. Like, he's fucking top level. It's just I've
He's
just
lyrical.
never.
He's lyrical, which is
yeah,
good.
yeah, and you
I
know
feel
I
like
love
he's
that
got-
innit. Like,
I
I
feel
love
like he's-
substance, and he's probably one of the only UK artists with any at the moment when it comes to an album, anyway.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
which
for
is
sure.
a big thing, and I did
Yeah, that's a
respect
big
that
thing,
that he
that's a very-
wrote it about. Do you know what I mean? From the perspective of his brother and shit like that, and like we need people that can deep things
Yeah.
instead of just treating it all. But like that Uncle Rafool thing, from then I found it very hard to connect with him.
Yeah.
I'll get over that, but when I was just like, bruv, like you can't just sort of say like no. And this is the thing, it sort of buys into this whole like pally thing that like it's all just about money now.
Yeah.
It isn't about opinion, truth, art.
Yeah.
It's just about like, no, I've made this. You must respect me because I've chosen to be a rapper.
Yeah.
And it's like, bruv, do you know what I mean? I fucking rap. Do you know what I mean? It don't. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you have to respect me because
Yeah.
I've chosen that.
Yeah.
I chose not like. Do you know what I mean? Like, not going down the wrong path should be celebrated, but what you choose to do on the good path shouldn't be celebrated. It should just be the fact that you're not on the bad path, innit? You can't. Do you know what I mean? If I was like, I demand to be a footballer, otherwise I'm gonna start going out and causing trouble again. Do you know what I mean? People. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal wouldn't sign me. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what I mean? We don't have to sign up to your music if you ain't willing to let opinions be spoken about it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm a bit iffy with Dave.
Fair enough. Beef with Dave coming soon.
No,
no, I'm
too
joking.
good for me, boy.
I'm joking. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think Grime just needs it.
Yeah,
It needs that oomph back. It needs
Yeah.
that fucking. Needs that hunger. No one's hungry no more.
No.
People are hungry, but they're hungry to get a number one. No one's hungry to. No one's hungry to.
People are scared to put their eggs in the Grime basket because then if Grime goes next year, there'll be a Grime MC and no one will like him anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you can't just fucking do it. Just jump at it.
I think
leap of faith.
I think with the internet age, the internet age, all these artists are really concentrating on numbers.
Yeah.
Where
Not
now the
longevity,
words are now losing all sense of whatever, to the point where all the Stormzy's fans are commenting on Wiley. Oh, you haven't hit this number or whatever.
I know. I can't believe it when people start like comparing the beef down to record sales and shit, and it was just like what are you actually? Do you like pop?
Yeah.
Like would you like it if this
that's
was a
Justin
mainstream?
Bieber versus Selena Gomez.
Yeah,
That's not
and it makes me think like, would they like Stormzy, or do they just like Stormzy because he's the most amicable black guy in the industry, and they're like, well, he doesn't seem like threatening to me, so do you know what I mean? And it's like that. Do you really like Grime?
Yeah.
Would you like it if it wasn't played on Radio 1? Would you support Stormzy?
Well, then
would you
it
support
opens the
scene?
conversation
Or do
to
you just
saying-
like him because you've been told he's your man?
Well,
sort of
it
thing?
opens the conversation.
The BBC don't feel threatened by him, so he gets pushed by him. Do you
It's
know what I
kind.
mean? And things like that.
It's kind of like, do they treat him like a token? Do they treat him like a token?
Yeah,
because
they don't back him on all like the political shit he does.
Yeah.
But then they'll back him in things like that, and it's like, well, what are you supporting?
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird.
I personally feel like a lot of these mainstream people, the ones pushing him, like, you know, like the fucking, not necessarily him, but like the Jonathan Ross type characters, the James Corden type characters.
Yeah.
I feel like they're
Like, I'm glad Stormzy's on there.
Yeah,
but
same.
they're not. They don't get it, man. Like, they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
And they're just.
it's sad because these are the people who are doing the big interviews,
Mhm.
but they're not going to sit there and ask about Wicked Skengman 3. They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna ask about the new fucking the new Ed Sheeran feature.
Yeah, I heard you hung about with some famous celebrities.
Oh my god! Did you
yeah,
and Ed both do
they're
a shot of
taking
whiskey?
him out of the scene and making him like, no, this is the friendly guy that everyone can get along with, and like. But then when he says something about Boris Johnson and that, they were like, la, 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 and it's
These
like,
are
no,
not the
like,
opinions of
if you
Sky
support,
Sports.
if you support. No, but if you support him because he has come from the struggle, he has come from the hood and that, then you've also got to back him when he stands up to power and that.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, no, we just want you to be the friendly one that doesn't say naughty things and
but
stuff
you know
like that.
what's-
Like, you
do you know
can't.
what's- do you know
That ain't what it's come
good,
from.
It's good that he hasn't sort of succumbed to that as well. That he's still.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you know what I mean?
He was
Like,
given a
well-
challenge and he said, "Fuck it, I'll
and-
reprove myself."
And in that
And that's
position,
what we
Yeah.
need.
in that position,
Like, that's why I fucking love him.
in that position, a lot of people would not put their neck on the
No,
line
mate,
like that.
No.
Do you know what
He's
I mean?
probably
And fair play to
the
him.
only one outside of Wiley. Dot Rotten hasn't had the mainstream success that they have and Dizzy have, but out of like the ones that have had that mainstream success, Stormzy's the only one I reckon that will. Because I never thought he would, because I didn't think none of them would, but he did, and he's really gone against the grain with that, like big time.
Used his
Yeah.
platform and that, like what
Like,
he's got
even
now.
when-
But this
Yeah.
this is what I was saying about the
Used that
hot
as a
night.
voice for people that don't have a voice and haven't had a voice in
100%, and
politics
that's
for
what
so
we've got
long.
to support more than his music, innit?
And that's what I was saying about the Hot 97 thing. The fact that he went on there and instead of being like, Wiley's this, Wiley's that,
He used it to provide
used it
context
to say,
and
this is Grime,
support the
this is-
scene. Yeah.
And I reckon, to be honest,
Wiley probably
Wiley
watched that
knew-
and thought,
Wiley,
big man thing.
yeah,
innit? Sweet.
Wiley fucking loved that.
Yeah.
I guarantee when he said that, he probably pulled
He
out
was
his phone
probably
and-
gassed, innit?
He
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
jumping up and everything. He probably, yeah, man. He loved it. He would have
Yeah.
loved it, mate. And like,
But you could see that when Dot was sharing like some of the texts that Wiley was sending him, And you could tell that even though
What
Wiley
was they saying? I haven't seen
well,
it.
I think this was after when Dot just started releasing the tune like every fucking 4 hours, and Wiley just texted him
Dot,
like,
slow down,
just,
bro.
Yeah, just text him and was like, bruv, like you know in it, like I know you know sort of.
Oh,
sort
that
of
was
thing.
when he said he's the king of grime.
Yeah. And
I
it was
saw
like,
that,
and you could tell like he was probably like, yeah, fuck it, I'll listen to his reply. Probably, and he was listening to it and probably just thought, mate, I've missed this. Like he probably just laid back in his chair and was just like, this is all I wanted was Grime to come back like this.
It's like Darth Sidious.
Yeah, like he's not the hater. He's not like an old decrepit old man like people sort of paint Joe Budden as and shit like that in America.
Well, they paint him as.
Yeah.
It's so sad, man.
Yeah, and it's like no, like what he wants is
his baby back.
Yeah.
He wants his baby back rich.
Yeah, he don't want no one. He doesn't want people to not make money. He's made Stormzy a little bit more money because you know what I mean. I might buy his album now because I'm think, oh, there might be a couple grime tracks on there. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we're talking about. To be honest, where's
Bro,
there, with us?
100%.
Where's there been a conversation with Stormzy? Barely.
Bro,
Barely.
historically,
Barely.
I've
barely.
barely.
I'm legally blind.
But like back at he was treated
shout out
as sort of
PAP,
like
wherever you are.
yeah.
Hold it down.
Hold it down. That's at the courthouse. Oh man,
Him squad, baby.
I can't get that. Holding it down. It's just the fact that his voice is breaking the whole
No,
way
it's
through.
she's a woman.
Yeah,
I'm a female.
I forget all the
Sir,
time.
I'm a female. They saying I drove the getaway car.
But okay,
It's just
I'm
in
legally blind.
Just
can't
imagining
see.
them in the back of the car as well blind and that, not realising they're on a robbery. Like.
Alright, big up POP for Lord of the Mics 2020.
Yes. Bobby Schmurder, 2020. Come to
Is
the
it this
UK.
year? No, it's.
Is
Yeah,
it? No,
it's
it's 20. Was it 2020 or 2022?
I thought it was 21.
Oh no, it is.
We're
It is
probably all
21.
wrong.
It is 21. That rings a lot
Can we
more
get a
bells.
fact check?
Can we get a fact check in the chat? Fact check. When's Bobby Schmurder?
Ready?
I said to you before,
Fox.
innit, bro. If we've got the money, we're
Jamie,
going New
pull that
York. We're going New York for that release night, and we ain't coming back. I ain't come. Yeah, no way.
Do you know what's-
I'm
do you know
not
what's gonna
coming
be
back
interesting?
until I'm in GS9.
In the 2020
Yeah, that's
edition?
what I thought it
What?
was, yeah.
Bobby,
Jeez. See, this is
Wait,
what I mean.
when's-
Grime could be back. Bobby Schmurder could be back.